Hello. Welcome back to another episode of High Talks, where we're on a higher level. I'm Cat.
I'm Tobi.
And today we're talking about...
is now the best time to be alive. This is High Talks podcast. The USP of this podcast is that it isn't our podcast, it's our podcast. So you're a key component of this podcast. So we need you to comment, to like, to when we do surveys, to put in your opinion. We want to hear from you. You're a big part of what makes High Talks podcast.
Yeah, 100%. All we want is for people to say their opinion without fearing that, oh, this person's not going to like me, or da-da-da. We're here to talk some shit. That's what we want to
exactly.
do. We want to bring you guys in.
And we might say some dumb shit. That's fine. Tell us we're dumb. We're happy to... This is a conversation, so we want to hear from you too.
Yeah. So how was your week, Tobi?
My week's been just like sitting in front of my computer and doing uni work, so nothing really exciting has been happening in my life. A little bit depressing, to be fair, but it's like a positive depression. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're happily grinding away, and you know, like you're not living your best life, but it's to get you to that best life. Do you know what I mean? So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, a big man Tobi with his USPs is studying business.
Yeah, studying business and that. So hopefully this will be a successful one. It probably, most likely, would be, to be fair. So, you know. Manifestation. How's your week been?
My week's been good. I got some new shoes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Stunning on them, yeah.
There you go.
We need some zooming in on that.
For the left. For the guys on the right.
Yeah, they're fresh still.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I fucked up the left one a little bit already, but I think it's bleed from the colour of the shoe. But anyways.
Oh, really?
Just a little bit of toothpaste, toothbrush, a little bit of elbow grease.
Fix that, yeah.
Be fine, yeah. But yeah, very happy about that. I think I spoke about it on the first episode.
What?
About spilling paint all over my shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe first episode, maybe fifth.
Was
Who
this
knows?
the same shoes?
No, so these are the ones replacement. Thank you. Trivial benefits.
Those ones
LTD
were
companies. Thank you.
Those ones were the brown suede ones, isn't it?
Not brown anymore.
Oh, damn.
Well, they're pulling through. They're not too bad.
Okay, so you can still rock them once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you should show us one day them shoes.
I'll show you. I'll find a before and I'll show you the after.
I'm just repping the generic black Air Forces, so I don't even need to show everyone straight away. 10 toes of that. You know we're ready to go anytime. But yeah, today's subject is this the best time to be alive? Which is an interesting one. It's a difficult one, this one, to be fair. Like, originally, I was like, yeah, of course it is the best time. But I can't lie, some contemplation, I don't know anymore. I don't know. So
I want to talk about this film, okay. Midnight in Paris.
Okay.
So Owen Wilson is the leading man. It's basically this writer who is in a relationship with Rachel McAdams, I think is the actress who plays her. And she's all about, you know, high society, upper class, her family's well off. And he's a troubled writer who's very much like a Woody Allen kind of character, like all up in his head, like. And he ends up wandering around Paris, and at midnight, he's obsessed about the 20s. Like, Paris in the 20s must have been amazing. And it's all about this idea of the golden age, like this was a golden age. And then he meets this woman. So sorry, I didn't explain. At midnight, he sees this car, and the car takes him somewhere, and it transports him back in time, basically. Into the 20s in Paris. Yeah. And he's with all the writers, like Hemingway, and he meets Salvador Dali, and all these big people. And just has the best time. But he meets this woman who is obsessed with the
future
1880s or something like that, like before the 1920s, or maybe something like that. And she and it's that's like close to the end of the film. So the film is all about like thinking that the past was a better time. And I mean, I think with our knowledge nowadays, like with science, like that, I don't think people could really say that. Like, I mean, yeah, in fantasizing, like in the film, you can say, oh, I love this about I should have been around in the 70s. I love saying that kind of thing. Yeah. But it's not really true. Like, you know, science was so, medicine, all of that, it's such a different time.
Yeah.
But it's the future, is my question.
Is the future going to be worse or better kind of thing?
That's where the meat of the story is.
That is some juice right there as well.
Because we could really go either way.
Yeah.
Like,
could go really shit, and then we're looking back at now and like, oh, remember when we could actually leave our houses? But that was,
But it's very much based on opinion as well, though. Like, it's subjective, because some people enjoy, like, technology's the future, you know what I mean? So, video games is like the next big thing, and you know, with all this, what's it called? AI kind of stuff. VR.
VR.
There you go. Yeah, all the letters.
Yeah, AI, VR.
Yeah. So
CD,
DVD.
DVD.
Who remembers a VC, bro? Like,
VHS.
What's a VC? What did
I don't know.
I'm just pulling them out.
It's probably something. It's probably some company somewhere.
Yeah, but so
shout out VC.
Shout out.
Sponsor
VC.
us. Give us monies.
But yeah, the future, like, it could, if you enjoy stuff like that, then great. But like, for me, I could never get a Kindle or read my books online, because like, I really enjoy a physical book, or like, I'm all about taking notes by hand. It's not even like I sound like, oh, I'm just old school. It's just because I feel like it registers in my brain better.
Yeah.
So
there's science backing that as well, to be fair.
So I really think it's like dependent. I'm quite happy that I'm of a generation that didn't have, like, we remember YouTube coming out and Instagram coming out and all of that. Like, I'm so happy that the internet, Michael McIntyre made a joke about this, like, I think he did, that like, some people cannot fathom not having the internet. Like, you know, the people born now, the internet always existed. Like, there was never a life of
I think he did, because I remember that comedy sketch, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that stand up, because he then said about how, like, you know, how we get impatient when the internet's a bit slow or something. Like, if the video doesn't load up in 1 second, we got upset, when back in their days they'll be happy if it loaded in like 5 minutes.
Literally.
So yeah,
even 5 minutes to me, like, I'm like, for a big video, it depends, you know, like, that, like, yeah. So I'm just so happy that I remember Instagram coming out, and I remember YouTube, you know, the first ever video and stuff like that.
I think part of what it is as well is people get used, like, I forgot who said this quote about how humans could get used to almost any situation kind of thing. And I think we get so used to certain things that we just don't even see them as a blessing. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably what happens. But for me, it's a hard one, because I can see how people would be like, back in the days was better for so and so reasons. And if we go on just like, because it's subjective and objective kind of thing, like, there's measurable metrics we could say that prove that now is the best time, in it, like medicine and stuff and technology, and but then there's also things that show that that is worse, because, you know, a lot of us are more unhappy because of all the technology we have. My friend always says to me that our technology has evolved quicker than we have. So we're like, our brains were kind of all meant for just chilling in a tribe, you know. Once in a while we see people. Do you get what I mean? Like, our brains are just meant for that kind of thing, and then we've now just hyped everything up, from food to sex to social media. Everything has just, so a lot of people are struggling because they are not, their whole DNA was not prepared for this life that we live. So it's the truth of
I'm
it.
done. Episode done. We're out of here. Bye.
So that's why a lot of people are unhappy, even though there's a lot to be happy about. But a counter argument is that there's more resources now for you to actually be happy mentally. So I guess that's where mental health will come into it.
Yeah, but it's not accessible to everyone. People don't have the time. Like, not to bring it back to, we don't want to talk about money again, because you know how that episode went. But like, you know, thinking about mental health is a privilege. Like, that's only certain people who have the leisure to do that. Good for you, mate. But some people out here working 3 jobs, feeding their kids. Yeah,
it's true. It is. I understand there's also a wealth thing with being able to even focus on your mental health, because in poor countries they don't have mental health. What's that? Oh, you nigga, what? I feel suicidal. So go to work.
What's suicide? Eh?
What's this? Like there's
murder.
Yeah,
God will smite you.
There's no like therapy you could get. So I guess that's the challenge as well. But also in those poor countries, they also have less technologies to do. It's a weird
Wait, sorry. Can I just say,
yeah,
I don't actually believe that suicide is murder. Can we just get that on the
what that suicide is murder?
Yeah, can we just strike that because I said it. I don't want you lot cancelling me. Yeah.
Now you could cancel me. It is low key murder. Okay, someone's getting killed.
Another episode.
We'll leave that for another episode.
Fuck. When I said that, I was like,
nah, it's not that deep.
All of you, what are they called?
Cancel culture people, whatever stuff.
Cancel culture vultures. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, let me not get into that. But yeah, there's now is the best time to be alive, but it's also the hardest. No, it's not even the hardest. But it's more mental, the priorities now, because of technology. Because there's this book, Atomic Habits, that does talk about how we are bombarded. There's many things pulling for our attention. We're bombarded with things that we cannot handle. We do not have the discipline for a lot of the shit. Like you get a notification, you open your phone, you check that notification, then there's this on Instagram. Next you know, you're scrolling through Instagram, and then you get a notification for a new person. Before you know it, half an hour is gone. Or an hour. People just be there the whole fucking... Like, we are not built for this lifestyle at all. And then there's the porn thing. That's a big problem that no one talks about I think for guys and girls, but more for guys.
I think both.
Yeah, because guys are like, we kind of visually sexually attracted to... Like, it's more visual attractions to things. So we don't... Like, with women... I think it's more psychological. Like you need to mentally be turned on before you're physically turned on. Of course, for guys it's a mental thing, but also very visual. Like for most girls, if you put a naked guy in the room, they're not gonna have sex with him straight away. But for most guys, you put a naked girl in the room, they'll have sex because we're quite visual. So the problem... say your point, then I'll continue what I'll say.
I don't think that it's like... It's visual for girls, but it's different things. Like for a guy, I don't understand it, but for a guy, it's like a full female naked body is sexy. Whereas for a girl, like a male body, it's like, if I see a guy in, this is such like a stereotype, but grey trackies, and they're like, got a good body, like that can turn me on instantly. And I've been turned on before I've known, someone's... Like, before I've spoken to you, I'm like, oh my God, that guy's fit. I would fuck him.
But would you have sex with him straight away then? If
I don't know your name, like, please, wait, no.
Yeah, guys will just... They don't need to...
No, I'm sorry. Come on. How many STDs are out there in the world? You'll just bang whoever.
Maybe here's another way to put it. It's like, for example, like if you just watching porn, if you look at female porn and male porn, it's
What's
different.
Female porn?
Female porn is a little bit more passionate, I'll say. It's a little bit more about, it's like a power play, it's slower. It's just, the best way to explain it is more passionate. Well, guy porn is kind of like, just like, maybe they'll have a little bit of a story of, they're, it's a plumber or whatever. They'll have a bit of a story, but it's kind of just straight to the point. There was no like psychology to it. There wasn't no flirting. It was just let's get straight to the pound. And, I think you're sexy, and then they have sex, and the sex is just, do you get what I mean? And then just different positions of guys are just very visual when it comes to sexual tracks. That's why more guys are likely, like I forgot where I saw this, but I think most women think like 90% of guys on dating apps are unattractive. Well, most guys will be like 50% of girls are unattractive for them, because
I don't understand why it's like this. Yeah, I've downloaded Tinder and I've deleted it. Bumble, whatever it's called. Yeah, I think it's Bumble. I've like downloaded like twice and deleted it whenever I got bored. But it's dead. Like, I don't understand what, like, I just don't get it. I walk around London and I see attractive guys every now and then. None on these things, like, literally nothing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But anyway.
But I've never seen any of my friends, so you can't say, like, I'm on there and I'm attractive.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone I know on a dating app. So
that's good, I guess. But
I've used it maybe 3 nights. Like literally, I'll
just like
download it,
just
use
for
it
fun
one night,
kind of thing.
delete it. I'm like, there's nothing here for me.
But what I was trying to say though is that the porn thing is like more of a problem for guys, because basically we're not like evolved to have that much sexual stimuli, and then there's also like our dopamine and stuff that like rewards us for certain things that promote our evolution, and one of those things is reproduction. So we'll promote our survival, and one of those things are reproduction. So our brain gives us dopamine. So what happens with guys? They watch porn, they get the dopamine kick, which then they watch more, and then what happens is this gets so desensitized to the dopamine that actually affects their whole life, because it's harder for them to get as happy, basically. So it means a lot of guys are just like depressed because they can't enjoy the basic things. They have sexual problems because they use anyway, it causes many problems.
Peep this, yeah. So on that point, that for girls, because porn doesn't really cater to our needs in a sense of like, it is very much like wham bam thank you ma'am kind of vibe. Girls have now trained, like, it's true, there's a certain sense of unfulfillment for girls watching, because I watch male porn. Maybe I've watched female porn by accident, but like, it's for me, like, I understand what you're talking about, plumber vibe, like whatever, easy kind of thing, and it's just, hard and fast, let's just call it that. So but the reason that, imagine a girl has now trained themselves that is, they watch that every time that they, they're getting off or whatever, and there is, I think it's worse for girls in that sense, because like it dullens your sexual, like the brain works in synapses, right? If you don't use them, if you don't like think about that, then
it doesn't create that new path in
it dullens it. It doesn't, it's not as strong anymore. So like a lot of the time, like I'm like, oh, I've kind of like, I'm having sex with a guy, and I'm just like, I don't feel in my essence, like I just feel kind of like almost catering to him in a sense, because that's what we're fed, and that's what so it literally makes you feel like, oh, I was meant to be fulfilled by this and feel some sort of like, dopamine kind of thing, but it's like, it's giving me that, but not properly, you know what I mean? And I think, if anything, men are probably doing it in the same way, but they just aren't conscious of their feminine side of sex, and don't think that the emotional and kind of like, more nuanced bit of it, the foreplay kind of stuff, is as important. They're just so trained to think wham bam thank you ma'am.
Yeah, because that's what they see on porn. And there's a lot of I get what you're saying about how it affects the way affects females' interactions with guys kind of thing, because it's more about the gratification kind of thing, and it's I think it affects both sides, but I think for guys more, because that they are more naturally inclined to that kind of stuff, and it is more targeted for them, because they know their demographic. But what I was trying to get to is that one of the many ways that our technology is negatively impacting people's lives, and a lot of people are struggling with. That's just one aspect. I feel like social media has its own problems, with how people feel about themselves, because naturally we compare ourselves to other people. Before, in the tribe of 50 people, you don't really feel too bad about yourself, do you? I mean, but nowadays I have access to millions of people on the internet, people with 7-8 packs, and people with asses bigger than other people's futures. Like, there's like so many different things that you can compare yourself to make yourself feel bad. There's just so much nowadays that makes people feel like shit, basically. Not to get to the capitalist argument, but that is low-key a symptom of capitalism. But then there's also things that we have to be grateful for, like medicine, and that we're more free than ever. I don't know any other time in history that we've been as free. And this isn't like this for all people as well. Like Black people, this is the best time to be to this this is the best time to be alive as a black person. You know, I don't. What?
But what, are we counting the future?
What the future? But I guess we're basing it on what we know now.
Yeah, but is now the best time to be alive? Or is the past or the future?
But I feel like that's a different question though, because that is now the best time to ever be alive.
But that's a different question. That's not what we said. We said, is now the best time to be alive?
Okay.
That's like in the sense of like...
Well, then the future will be better, for sure.
But this is what we were saying about technology and stuff like that. And who knows? We've got white supremacy boiling up in America. We've got, you know...
It's not just white supremacy. There's also like there's a kind of government kind of like overreach that's just constantly growing in every country now, partly because of COVID and that. So that's also something to worry about, how much power these motherfuckers are getting, all the low-key corruption. Like, we'll find out all kinds of crazy shit. So would that get... I've recently read George Orwell, innit, yeah. And it just seems like we're slowly walking towards the world he talked about, kind of thing, of just everyone being kind of ignorant to things, kind of just repeating what they've been told. The way language is twisted and played on to kind of manipulate us. This American media is fascinating because CNN and Fox are literally, it's like they both sat down together, read George Orwell. They're like, this is how we'll do it. And then the division between the two is almost illusion. It's like, oh yeah, we hate them because they're lying while they also... But yeah, I don't know, the future could be worse as well. That's another debate.
Like, dystopian novels, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale, very similar to...
Is that the one where the women are just like just for reproduction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some madness. Great. I've watched like bits of the TV show, but it's great. But yeah, so what's your verdict? Do you think
I feel
is now the best time to be alive, or is there a better time?
I feel like around 2010 was a good time. Just before we reached
2012.
Yeah, just before everything reached to this crazy I don't know though, but Amazon's quite useful. But
fuck Amazon. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. 2012, that was year 8 for me, bro. That was a good year.
Whichever time had the Sony Ericssons, that was the best.
Best time. I think it was BlackBerry Curve at that point.
Oh yeah, the Blackberries. Oh yeah, BBM.
But yeah, that was the best because
BBM was sick still.
You had like all of this new stuff. Instagram just came out. YouTube was at its peak.
Yeah.
Like everyone was really like, I don't know, happy.
Like people could actually swear and say some crazy shit on YouTube and make some quirky, weird songs, and like YouTubers were weird, but like in an entertaining way. Now it just feels like TV 2.0 sometimes with... Yeah, nah, those were good times. Do you remember Diary of a Bad Man?
No.
You don't? Oh, no. I feel like to end it here. Sorry, guys. It's over. Stop recording. Okay. Man Them on the Wall? No.
I didn't watch this stuff. I was all about, the white guys.
No.
Yeah, I know, it was peak. I was whitewashed as a kid.
But even the white kids knew about that. Okay.
Not my white kids. I went to theatre school, bro.
Okay. Was it like international-ish?
There were some international. Yeah, people came from all over to go to this school.
So it wasn't like UK. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was not. You didn't know about ends. Do you get what I mean? Like everyone. Some people traveled from Kent. Some people traveled from it was everywhere. My friends are all scattered because of that.
Okay, fair enough. Allow her, guys. Allow her.
Allow me.
She didn't know. She didn't
educate
know.
me. Bring me in.
We'll educate her. Yeah. But to be fair, watching it back now would be dead. But back in the days, it was the one But yeah, those were good times. But maybe there's a bit of nostalgia, kind of a melancholy looking back at those times. That's why we think they're good. I don't know. I guess that my answer would be yes, but if we say compared to the future, I don't know, because I don't know what's in the future. What's your
I'm saying 2012 was the best year to be alive.
2012, yeah.
No, but like for real.
Around them times were good. When we thought the world was gonna end.
Exactly, yeah. But the reason why I genuinely say that is because, like, honestly, Midnight in Paris, watch it. It's amazing. It has taken me away from like romanticizing the past anymore, because I just see it as really and truly, if you were there, you wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as you do now. Like, if you had the memories and the knowledge of what you do now, going back to a time like that would frustrate you, and it wouldn't be as fun. So I by logic, I have to remove myself from the past, even though I love like the 60s and I love like the 20s as well, the 1920s. Like, I would love to have been a part of that.
Yeah.
But I would say that we're kind of, from how we're going now, like, I preferred 5-10 years ago. No, I preferred 10 years ago than to now. I would say that the future for me doesn't look bright. Like, there are ways, like, if small business, once the economy, it depends how you live. Like, I'm hoping that I can carve my life out in a way that I really enjoy, that you know, it's small businesses, it's not taking part in this big, you know, corporate ideology and just, you know, living off the land. Like, it really depends, but I would say it's kind of the future's your own, make it your own, because I don't have faith in it.
I like, there's a quote that's like, have little faith in the future, and there's only today kind of thing. But yeah, it's a tough question for sure. Should we react to what the people's thought of this question?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Is now the best time to be alive?
I don't know. I think that each generation has never been alive in any other generation, so the comparison is defunct, because you've never been able to speak to someone who's been alive in multiple generations, so you'll never actually be able to find out.
That's an interesting experiment though. Like, imagine we could go back in time and we take some motherfucker from, I don't know, 1800s and we bring him here. Would he be happier, do you think, or do you think he'd be less happy?
I think it's very subjective. I think it depends on the person. But I normally really like this girl, yeah?
But you don't agree with this bit?
Yeah, like, she's very smart, but it's not I don't feel like that was the question that we were asking. It's like, we didn't ask if you could prove what is the best time to be alive. That's why I think it's really subjective. Like, is this the best time to be alive for you? Do you know what I mean? In your opinion, is this... So it's not about
what some guy thought in...
Like, we can't...
Jesus times.
Well, if he told you what he thought about that time, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you would have thought. You know what I mean? So
I don't think.
Okay, so
in my opinion, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think
you was annoyed with her. You was like, bitch, we didn't ask you what they thought about Jesus in Jesus times. We asked you what you thought. Otherwise, we would have interviewed them if we could.
We've obviously experienced so much technological, like, rapid change in our lifetimes. Like, I'm only 27 and I've experienced so much already. I think that it is a great time to be alive in terms of science and information and technology.
She looks young for 27, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, girl, you doing 27 even isn't that old anyway, but she was
glowing.
However, in terms of humanity, I don't think it's a good time to be alive. Like, the more resources that you put on the earth, the more greed there is, and the more suffering some people experience as a result.
Delicious point.
Yeah, that's basically what we were saying. Like, maybe we have a problem of too much, you know, abundance kind of. That's why we have the obesity problem. Like, no offense to you body positivity people, but I really disagree with you guys. I can't lie. Because there's abundance of food, you know. We're now living in a time, depending on what country you are, obviously, where the poorer people are more obese than the richer people. Like,
where are you getting that fact from?
Because that's the like, if you look at the, you know, rich people, they go gym, they live in the lifestyle, while poorer people, specifically in America, what's the closest food shop?
No, but
McDonald's?
You're not talking about homeless though. You're talking about
Now I'm not talking about homeless. I'm saying poorer, not not homeless or
lower class.
But lower class, they're more unhealthy than these rich. Because obviously they got the doctors as well, but they have the time to go gym and the money to spend on. Because if you're on a lower budget and you want to buy food, your food is gonna be quick microwave or oven meals that are just like will make you fat.
Yeah,
or sugary snacks, things like that. So when these body positivity people are like, yeah, we should just accept that and this is beautiful. No, it's killing motherfuckers. Like there's abundance of food now. Like maybe it's low quality and nutrition and things like that. So that people have to be wary about and need to be educated on and told, no, that isn't, in the black community, we can't be losing motherfuckers to diabetes. We need every one of you guys alive to support the community.
But then don't you see, like, by that logic, so money makes people eat better. So it's not about education, because I'm sure that these poor people, if given money, would eat better, no?
Yes, they'll have more means to eat better, yes. But I wouldn't say the necessarily would, because
not all of them,
they will have the habit of eating those unhealthy foods, and there's education that comes with it as well. But no one wants to provide that education. No one wants to talk about nutrition.
The rich want the poor to die.
Do you get what I'm saying? And you woke body positivity people aren't helping. Like we can't afford to lose certain people to just things like obesity and things like that, when we could easily teach them to, exercise and things that science, trust the science says are good for you. So I think that's one way that's bad for us, because there's a lot of fat and sugar in a lot of the foods we eat. Like look at your ketchup bottle. And I know motherfuckers that won't eat food without it.
Oh my god, condiments, man. They're actually going to kill us.
They're sneaky.
I love mayonnaise.
Cereal as well. Some cereals are just sugar.
No, I stopped eating cereal. Make your own muesli. There you go.
Yeah.
Oats, raisins, coconut flakes, nuts.
Nuts, those are good.
Bit of sugar. Just
apparently eating like a handful of nuts a day will actually make you live longer.
Yeah, brain food.
So
walnuts look like a brain food. Promise you.
Makes sense. So in that aspect, there is an abundance of things that we've never had before, and that will sometimes have the counter effect of making people's lives worse, not better.
Is now the best time to be alive?
Depends. I think that's a subjective question.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, I don't really like giving my opinion. But I think, I'll say, okay, in my opinion, yes. I think for what I want to do in life, the pros completely outweigh the cons. So yeah.
Is now the best time to be alive?
Yeah. Any time is a good time to be alive, but we've chosen to be alive right now, every single person, so yeah.
To be fair, I didn't choose to be alive. I was kind of forced. It was forced upon me. Just opened my eyes and I was coming out of vagina in a hospital somewhere. But I get what she's saying though. Like every time's a good time to be alive, because just being alive is a good time. Do you get what I mean? I like that.
Yeah, but in the same sense, it's like the 27-year-old blonde lady saying like, oh, because we can't. It's true, because we can't compare.
Yeah.
You don't know. So yeah, sure, why not? Now is a good time to be alive. But objectively, is it the best time to be alive?
Fair enough. This is going to be interesting.
We've chosen to be alive right now, every single person, so yeah.
Okay, is now the best time to be alive?
No. Well, it's better than the past.
Is there Ow.
You're right. Give me that. Did she say anything else? That's fine.
Yeah, she said
But you think the future will be better?
Yeah. I don't know though, you say that, but it could get worse.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Yeah.
Like, just live in the moment, guys.
Thank you.
Do you know, she always says some dumb shit and then she ends it with some, oh, okay. Yeah, live in the moment. But no, it's not the best time to be alive, but it's better than the past. If you're black.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Better opportunities. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be black like 100 or 200 years ago, would you? No.
Shall we rewind that? Ooh.
Yeah, play it again for the people in the back.
Yeah, because this he said facts right here.
He said facts.
If you're black.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure. Better opportunities. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be black like 100 or 200 years ago, would you? No.
He's right.
So that begs the question, if it's better for black people, is it better for white people?
Ooh. I think some white people will say, no, this isn't better. These fucking niggas are everywhere. I'm joking.
Rights? They have rights?
Yeah, but I feel like there is time periods in history where like, yeah, it must have been nice to be a white person. Like the roaring 60s, being a white male specifically must have been lit. Do you get what I mean? You know, you kind of like, everyone kind of treats you special. Life is mostly easy. Obviously there was the economic factor as well, but yes, it looked like a lit time back then for them still.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like they've always got their interests at heart. So their best interests at heart. So if we're doing better, I feel like they must be doing better too, because they wouldn't have let this happen if
it wasn't better for them. Which
now
is
they've
true.
got better workforce because work for them.
You've got a better
they got enough
pool.
people with British citizenship that now they felt comfortable to do Brexit. That's what they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
I'm
that.
chatting absolute wax.
But like, yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like, there's this. It reminds me of this quote, Booker T. Washington. We need to do a Black History Month one or whatever. But
just passed though.
Yeah, so we could do it whenever. It's why are we even doing Black History Month? Black history every time, innit? Our history shouldn't be segregated to a month. But anyway, Booker T. Washington, he's a G. He said this quote about, you can't hold a man down in the ditch without being down there with him. So I get what you're saying about how, like, yeah, it must be better for them because they're not in the ditch either. But I think there's like human nature, we enjoy power in it. I think that's undeniable. Anyone that fronts that, oh no, I don't like power, no, you're bullshitting. Like if you was in those times, you had that power, you feel bad about yourself, you could just mistreat other people based on their race or gender. That was very appealing to people, and especially higher status people. They had less competition. They were comfortable in their positions. It's more of the power thing that I think would have made life better comparable to now kind of thing. For those people, but not saying it's right, but I'm saying based on what humans tend to enjoy, it is true. But yeah.
And you know what's interesting as well is that when we're talking about, was the past better for... what you said is so great. When we're talking about the past, I'm talking about medicine and all of these things. Yeah. This wasn't even a factor for black people in that time. You know what I mean? No matter how far back you go, they weren't concerned with these things. Slavery was around. Like, all these things. They had bigger things to worry about. How they were gonna eat.
How they survive.
These were white people problems. No offense, I'm just saying. It's the truth. Like, so now
But I'm sure black people had problems medically, but they just they knew there wasn't gonna be no white doctor to help them. It was just like, nigga, you dead.
oh, you're dying.
That's
shame.
Shame.
But okay, jokes aside, so that's I really do believe like if we're doing good, they're doing good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna question. What he said, spot on.
Yeah, that is true.
For black people, yes.
That's why it low-key annoys me when people say shit like well, when people act like being black right now is like suffering, and you know, you have it really difficult. I'm not saying there's no challenges that we face. I'm saying compared to 10, okay, maybe not even 10, maybe to 50, 100 years ago.
No, even 15 years ago.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
We're doing so much better, and I feel like it's a little bit ungrateful to all the people that sacrificed for us to be here, and we can't even acknowledge how far we've come. Do you get what I mean? So that's my problem with some of these some people who talk about, let's say they call them black leaders, because like I think the conservatives did some investigation or something, some research into like the racial disparities, you know, because it was after the push from Black Lives Matter and stuff, and they come out with it and they're saying like the problem is more socio-economic, blah 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 blah, yeah, which, you know, people could disagree with, but what some people were saying for me was pissing me off. I thought it was worse than the research itself, because what they were saying is, oh, this takes us back 20 years. I'm like, no, we're not back 20 years. The fact the government's even doing research in this matter is progress. You might not agree with what the government found, but it's still progress. Do you get what I mean? If you don't at least acknowledge some form of progress, you don't know how far you've come, and you don't really know how close you are to where you're going. And
that's what I think it is though with this movement. We just don't know where we're going. I mean,
testify, sister. It's so true though.
We're like, when are we equal? When is it that, because everyone has their own definition as well. Like some people want, you know, we're not the same, but we're equal. We are the same. We aren't the same, and we're not equal. Black people are better. We are the same, but we're not equal. You know. There's all different things. So I think with that, that's another episode.
That's another episode. Yeah, but I can't wait to that. I got shit to say. Oh my goodness.
I feel like every episode somehow we're gonna link it to being black and sex.
And sex, yeah. I guess that's just us basically, isn't it? Yeah. And capitalism and socialism. It's gonna end up linking to one of those three. But I like their what the people said though.
Who was your
favorite person?
Yeah.
Definitely the guy at the end, I forgot his name now. He I liked what he said. He kept it short and sweet as well. He kept it short and sweet, but what he said was true. It made me think like, for who is now the best time for, and specifically for black people is the best time, and for women as well. I think for women it's probably the best ever time, because there was so many things holding them back before in the past.
So many episodes.
So many episodes.
Oh my god, I want to.
This episode so literally is like what would they call it? The seeds for the many different branches we'll go for other episodes. To be fair, there's the women's rights and progression, black rights and progression. There's
there was definitely another one. We're gonna have to fucking watch back.
We'll watch back. We'll find. But there's a lot we have to talk about. And capitalism, I guess, low key, because there is the negative aspects of that as well.
What, you want to do a whole episode on capitalism?
I guess just the negatives of it,
Tobi wants to talk about negatives of capitalism.
Yeah, I think there's
there is none.
Now I think there's a misconception when I argue about capitalism that I must believe that it's like perfect and there's no problems. Like there's there's Karl Marx, his book Why It Became So Popular, is because he was right. There's hella problems with capitalism that we should be aware of. We should try and tackle as much as possible. His problem was that his solution was you know, he could diagnose the symptom. Like, let's say you got a headache. He's like, oh, you haven't been drinking enough. And he's like, oh, you got a headache. It's making you feel nauseous. He's got your symptoms, right? Then he's like, the solution is let me put a hammer and make a hole in your head. But that's I guess that is another video. But this was an interesting one. So have they changed your mind? Are you still believing that now is the best time?
I still think, okay, if we're talking about like, I didn't say, I think 2012.
Oh yeah, so you said 2012,
Yeah.
innit? Okay,
But
yeah.
I get it. The future could be bright. Like if you want to look at logistics, maybe now is technically so far the best time. But
Yeah.
2012, bro, was banging.
Was banging.
Was banging.
Everyone thought the world was gonna end, so it was just like, fuck it, best
Everyone
life.
thought the world was gonna end. I don't know what it is about year 8, but year 8, you've got absolutely nothing to do. Year 7, you've made friends, you've joined in.
Yeah,
like,
you kind of
all
got warmed up to high school.
Year 9, you pick your GCSEs.
Oh yeah, that's when shit starts getting
changes.
depressing.
Year 8.
Yeah,
is
that's
the golden
true.
age.
You're right. That is true. That is
It
the
was
golden age.
banging.
Tell
I
us-
remember Instagram came out the year before, like, and we
Is
were
it?
all on it anyway.
Yeah, it was all on there. Yeah, I remember that. Or I
You
still
saying?
have that account. What I was gonna say is, tell us what year in high school was the best, actually, because I agree with you on that one. Still, year 8 was because year 7 you was like a bit fresh. You're still understanding the politics of high school and that. Oh, the oldest, and then you. But then year 8, you're like, oh, I'm comfortable. You get it. Like I was a bit cheeky in year 8.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Yeah, year 8 was.
Year 8 was banging, and that's why you said 2010. You know.
Is that 2010?
Well, I was 2012 year 8, and you're 2 years older than me now.
Oh, that makes sense. So 10 for me, 20. Yeah, that makes sense. It was good times.
It was good times, but yeah, I do understand logistically, but I just have this thing of like, I like the old school stuff. I think problems were simpler back then as well. Like, you know, now with technology and everything, there's many more problems. It's like instead of, okay, all of our problems were linear before. Now they've gone horizontal because there's so many variation.
Yeah.
But they're a bit shorter. You know, we've made a little bit of progress. But how many more problems have come out now?
Yeah, like, that's true.
And even new variations of the same problems. This needle bollocks with you know, women in clubs and stuff like that. It's like, how has this happened? Because technology has made it possible and all of this.
I think also technology, to its benefit, does bring it to our attention more. Because I think these things, maybe not to say, I don't know about the extent, but I feel like now, you know, like George Floyd thing was an example. Damn, I keep bringing it back to black people. But like, you know, that shit, no one would have known about that if it wasn't for the fact that we could whip out an iPhone quickly and just record it kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? So it brings things more to our attention. Plus the way social media is, that also promotes things because, you know, they have, you know, hashtag this or which brings it to our attention more. And I think that's where it makes it's harder because 1 minute we're like, oh, Afghanistan, next minute we're like Israel, then Black Lives Matter, then women's rights. And we're like, which one should I care about? Then you have your own problems and then you feel overwhelmed. Yeah. Well, back in the days, it was kind of simple. You just looked at memes. Vine times was sick. Vine times, that was one of the best times. I promise you
that was 2012.
That was 2012. That was one of the best times. You could just watch Vines. You didn't really, you know, care too much. Everyone had dead swag and they were swagging it out. Do you get what I mean? They didn't care. No one was trying to stunt on you too much, really. There was
2012!
Is it?
June 2012 till oh no, I lied.
So when?
So the company was bought in 2012, and then Vine launched on January 24th of 2013.
Okay, so that's the final verdict. 2013 was the best time to be alive.
To 2017, Vine was around till 2017, bro.
Yeah, I don't even understand what happened to Vine. It was so good.
It was so
and TikTok
good.
just came and did basically the same thing.
Well, it was Musical.ly before, remember?
What, the Vine?
No, Vine, then Musical.ly came out, did basically the same thing, and then it turned to TikTok. TikTok was Musical.ly.
I remember seeing like promotions for Musical.ly and I was like,
Dead.
I don't know. It's fascinating sometimes why some companies go straight to the top and why some companies fail. There's something in their marketing strategy, the way we see them, that makes us either go, shit, I need to download that.
Even seasonal things like House Party.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it pops up every now and then, you know what I mean? Like once a year or something, your mates will be like, oh yeah, download it. We're getting back in there. It's like the fucking lockdown. popped off.
Lockdown, that was the one. I was just on house party. I
was
was making friends, flirting with girls. Obviously we couldn't link, so
Boys were mad on house party this
yeah,
year,
they were
not
moving.
gonna lie.
They were moving. I can't lie, though. I feel sorry for both sides during lockdown because there must be a lot of sexual frustration. Because you can't link no one. I can't lie though. I'm sorry, Boris Johnson, but I broke some lockdown rules, so you can forgive me later.
Naughty Tobi.
Yeah, you had to have 1 or 2 sneak links during lockdown. But house party was sick. I think Uber did well doing it as well. Amazon they went through the fucking...
Yeah.
I can't lie though. Lockdown was peaceful. That was a good time. Now we're just talking about good times. I can't lie. Lucky, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. Like, it was therapeutic.
Oh,
it was therapeutic.
Man. No, wait. The first winter, when we first locked down, was tough. Then when it became summer in 2020.
Yeah.
Was it 2020? Yeah.
Yeah, 2020.
2020, summer, banging. So good.
That was therapeutic for me. Like, I used to be in the sun. I was doing yoga and shit.
I was cycling 2 hours every day, mate.
Yeah, I was feeling good, to be fair.
Oh, I miss it. Like, honestly, because now it's like back at work. You've got so many things.
Yeah.
That furlough, just being able to do what you wanted and just really think about the benefit for yourself.
Yeah.
It
was quite good in that aspect, and I could actually spend time with my family, like my relationship with my sister, my cousin, everything. It was just getting but I can't lie, the start of it was getting worse because I was just like, I'm tired of seeing you motherfuckers, like because you just see them every day, so you just naturally like. I don't know how people get married, but I'm gonna need days off if I'm married, because seeing the same person every day can be a little bit draining. They just annoy you the smaller now because everything's so busy. It's fine, but yeah. But once I can't lie, I felt anxiety when things opened back up because I was like, shit, how am I gonna like get back to this normal? Because my normal wasn't normal anyway. Like I was like it's kind of how it is now, just like yours as well, just work. Like even the time you have for yourself, it's like after work or before work. It's yeah. And to be fair, even in that time, you should be doing work, so you feel guilty to be. So,
bro, oh my god, how am I like falling asleep thinking like, oh my god, I should really bang out some more work?
Yeah, it got so bad that I'm so happy for journeys. Like when I'm on the train, that's the only time I could just sit down and just like
no
chill.
Internet. You can't do anything.
You just have to sit there and maybe you can music or whatever.
Even then, now I've started doing Sudokus because I've realized. Well, I've been doing Sudokus. I love Sudokus, but because I've realized that if I let myself chill, I will chill. Like I will come into work and be like, I don't want to do this. Once I wake up, it's go time. It's get up. Get ready, get out of the house, boom, have your day, and then at the end of my day, or like once I can be a bit social, chill, smoke a
little zooty.
Fuck a little.
It's good to have that. I've been trying to do that more after lockdown because I realized the value of having that time for myself and actually looking after my well-being. So I've been trying to do things like meditate and go gym. I was barefoot during lockdown, you know, because every day I had nothing else to do but fucking work out. That was a good time for me.
Yeah, that was really good. I was probably at my physical peak. Yeah, really? I think physically and mentally. But let's hold on. Okay, it's now the best time to be alive. No, lockdown was the best time to be alive, bro.
Yeah,
I was actually so like fit and healthy, and I was drinking 2 liters of water a day, making sure I try and do that now. I genuinely don't have the time
to do it.
I'm running around all day and then I end up, oh shit, I don't have the I buy a 2 liter bottle of water, maybe a liter max goes, maybe 1.5 liters on a good day.
But now it's just hard to find the time for everything. But I understand that there's the wealth and stuff, like some people, you know, having a tough time financially and things like that. We're not saying for everyone, but for us personally, it was a decent time. I think many people there was one chef I actually bumped into on the train, like when lockdown ended. I asked him how he was. This motherfucker was glowing. I can't lie. Like, I didn't even know his face could look like that. I'm not joking, because when he was on that chef grind so much, you could see in his face he didn't look like he was alive. He looked like he was just living. Like, but after the lockdown, he had so much time for himself. He was working out. He looked fit. I was like, shit, you look good. He was like, yeah, like, I haven't been chefing. Hospitality wasn't open yet, so he's still enjoying. Yeah, so it was good to say. Ooh.
No, I was just appreciating what you were saying, because chefs, honestly, bro, props to every chef out there. Honestly, I know, you all can be dickheads. All of you are dickheads. Yeah, that's true. You all have bad tempers. But I get it, and I will always allow it. Because, bro, you are champions. You should make our army. You should. You guys are champions.
It's one of the hardest jobs out there, to be fair. Like, the hours are crazy. The pay's increased after lockdown. That's a benefit, but
the pay increased over hospitality in general.
That's true. Not just for chefs.
Big up. But the fact that I left my waitressing job and then everyone gets a pay rise.
You must be pissed off. But yeah, for chefs, I think it was very good for their mental health. I was meeting chefs that like would tell me like they were seriously not good in a good place, but they couldn't. It's the chef grind is like, you don't know anything else. The heat affects you. The hours, you're standing all day while being very physically active. Like, that's.
But I think as well, like, it comes down to, this is such a tangent, sorry, but I'm just gonna say I'm really passionate about hospitality. Is that waiters get like a lot of, and runners, front of house, like anyone front of house gets a lot of training in higher class places about like ethos of the company, and giving you the drive to do that much effort and for the customer. When you have a difficult customer and it's like, I cannot believe I am walking 2 flights of stairs to bloody make you a dessert. The dessert chef's not there. Have to fucking flame the meringue myself. Bring it down. You say the ice cream's not correct, so I have to go back upstairs, get the bloody right ice cream. Like, a stupid silliness. Whereas like chefs, like going up to the chefs being like, oh, this girl wants eggs on toast. It's like breakfast menu's over. Like, we're on this one now. I'm like, if they're not getting that training and it's not drilled into them, how do you expect to give like, they are service as well, even though they're back of house kind of, like, they're still service. Like, they still need that drilled into their brains. Like, you do anything and everything for the customer sitting there. They've basically rented that table. It's like their house for the hour, so I don't blame them when it took a lot to drill it into me to be like, yes, do everything you can. But
I think that's where chefs get annoyed sometimes, because there's sometimes the front of house will ask you to do things
dumb shit
that aren't really some really dumb shit.
But I promise you, we don't want to ask you. We have to.
But I'm lucky because many chefs haven't experienced front of house. They've just experienced the back of house. But I've experienced both in it, and like, because of my experience of back of house, I know what things the back of house can't do when I'm working at the front of house. And I feel like, so the chef can't do that for you. Some waiters or waitresses, but I think equally though, like, they also have a different kind of stress. It's not they have the stress of dealing with people, because the stress of some customers, some people are dickheads for no reason. They make a big deal of nothing. They ask for things that there's a menu. We're not fucking imagination land. What comes to your head, we can make up here. No, there's a menu. This is what we say we can do. Maybe we can remove some things for you, but we can't add magical ingredients as you wish. You don't go to McDonald's and be like, oh, can I have some caviar on my burger? Because you know they won't have caviar. Anyway, let me not get pissed off about this shit. But
I'm gonna cry.
But yeah, like, so I understand the frustration when food is delayed, when service is slow. Like, that's a back and forth thing, and that's where management needs to be on job. And then management, because there's a toxicity in hospitality, let's not deny that. Depending where you work, it means that the managers and everyone's kind of out for themselves sometimes and there to look good. So management isn't really caring about actually getting a good service sometimes. It's more about looking good, and then when things go wrong, it's more about passing the blame. And it's just hospitality is toxicity to the maximum. And if you're in that industry, props to you because it's a hard industry. Like, obviously people say it for other industries, but hospitality doesn't get enough congrats. Everyone's just, it doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's or the Ritz or whatever, your job is not easy. Facts. I'm sorry, it's facts. It's not easy. I've worked at places just flipping burgers, and that's its own problems. But yeah, so I've waffled a bit there. But I feel like people who worked in hospitality, which is many people, and if you're still working it, know what I'm talking about. They know how it is.
Everyone, watch my kids work in hospitality for at least 4 months.
I think it's good character building as well. I feel like everyone should work in hospitality at some point.
You know how to be. If you are, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, chefs have their ups, you know, their props. But I would say that if I was to, like, my kids are gonna do front of house.
Yeah.
So that, because
that's character building as well.
That is really, you know how to bite your tongue. You know how to be nice. You know how to cater to someone. And I'm not saying that that's the way that you should act, but you can tell when someone has that kind of like knowledge of, you know, people skills just in general. And I don't, you've just really you've tugged at a heartstring for me. That's a whole other episode. We need to talk about hospitality. Yeah. Might even just like fuck the like just an hour rant about hospitality.
I agree with that because that's, I just feel like that industry is just kind of like, they're like, these people will just do that. No one really appreciates how hard that shit is, isn't it?
So many people like, and the fact like the culture in London is not like, obviously America's so different because the basic rate is like so low and you pay
tips is what they use to survive basically. That's another issue. But
I'm not gonna lie, I would rather people have that mentality because they end up making more than the people here, than waiters here.
That is true.
You should value the fact that someone has literally, for example, where I used to work, the Electric, like, we would have birthdays, like, every kind of celebration, you know what I mean? So I have literally made your celebration happen, done everything you wanted perfectly, like, you know, gone above and beyond. Like, our service was, it was top tier service. It was incredible. So the fact I've done that for you, and it's not even, sometimes it's take the service charge off. Are you mad?
Yeah.
Are you mad? We need to have a better culture around
that. Yeah, that's true. But I feel like the American one isn't a good example either, because they should it should be like good pay and then the tips as well on top. But yeah, that is another video, and I'm looking. We got beer videos coming up. Just keep an ear out. Tell us which ones you're most excited for, so we can record those ones first. And get them out to you first. But yeah, that was another episode of High Talks, where, you know, we're on a higher level. Like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you think. I think the nature of this question has meant we spread around many different topics, but we want to talk about all of them with you. And then when we do talk about specific ones a bit more, we could say, oh, so-and-so said this and this is what we think.
Yeah, exactly. We really, because I think a lot of the subjects that we were talking about this episode, we're probably going to do like specific episodes for that maybe we might not include interviews for, because they're a bit more like, I think they're a bit more subjective. Like, we kind of want to talk from our point of view a little bit more and like delve into it really deep. So if we could get some comments from you guys that we could discuss, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
that we still want to include you in that conversation.
Exactly. So see you next time.
See ya.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. That shit's free for now.
This was so much fun. I love this episode.
Yeah, this was a good episode. Bye, guys.